Now to two very significant deadlines in our nation's capital. One that has just passed. The president's tariff plan as of midnight is now in effect, but not without some last-minute changes and a possible addition.
Right, and that, well, today is the eve of a White House ultimatum to the Kremlin demanding a ceasefire in Russia's war with Ukraine. Jay Gray is tracking it all and brings us the latest.
Apple is announcing that it will...
In an Oval Office meeting with Apple CEO Tim Cook, touting the company's promise to invest $600 billion in U.S. manufacturing over the next 4 years, President Trump announces a new tariff on semiconductors and chips with one caveat.
So 100% tariff on all chips and semiconductors coming into the United States. But if you've made a commitment to build, or if you're in the process of building, as many are, there is no tariff.
Specifics, including when the tech tariffs will take place and exactly how U.S. manufacturers will qualify for an exemption, still aren't clear. What is clear, though, is the president's frustration with India.
They're fueling the war machine, and if they're going to do that, then I'm not going to be happy.
Raising the country's tariff from 25 to 50% just hours before the plan goes online as a punishment for buying oil from Russia. Announcing that decision as Special Envoy Steve Witkoff meets with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow ahead of a Friday deadline for increased U.S. economic sanctions if there's no ceasefire with Ukraine. The president on social media calling the meeting highly productive and writing, "Great progress was made," suggesting that there may now be a path to face-to-face meetings with Putin and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky.
That road was long and continues to be long, but there's a good chance that there will be a meeting very soon.
A White House official telling NBC News there's no set plan or location, but that the meeting could take place as early as next week. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
And breaking this morning, a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and President Trump has been agreed to. That, according to a Kremlin official, and it could possibly take place as early as next week. Putin's foreign affairs advisor adding that it will take time to organize and that no date has been confirmed, saying that the possible venue will be announced a little later.
A meeting between Putin and Trump would be their first since Trump returned to office this year. It would be a significant milestone in the war, though there's no promise that a meeting would lead to the end of the fighting, since Russia and Ukraine remain far apart on their demands.
Western officials have repeatedly accused Putin of stalling for time in peace negotiations to allow Russian forces time to capture more Ukrainian land. Putin has in the past offered no concessions and will only accept a settlement on his terms.
And it's not yet clear whether Trump's Friday deadline for the Kremlin to stop the killing in Ukraine still stands.